to order the Planning Commission regular meeting of the Village of Armada, November 20th, 7 p.m. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Okay, Patterson, Belkey,
Here.
Patajizic,
Here.
Shaw,
Here.
and I'm here.
Here.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
This is President Pro Tem. I would like to make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Any support?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Approval of the meeting minutes, October 16, 2013. Becky was kind enough to send this to us previously, so you should have it here.
Like to motion to approve the meeting minutes of October 16th, 2023.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is public comment. Okay, hearing none, we will go to the next item, which is sketch plan application 73350 Floral Street, Tom's Auto Detail. So thank you for coming. We've all got the application in our packet. You are welcome to address the planning commission now if you'd like.
As far as what I plan on doing?
Yeah.
Application? So I just plan on detailing automobiles. As far as like tractors, I think I mentioned those, most of those are on the farm themselves, so not at Floral Street. I do window tint application as well. That's automotive and commercial, so it'll be in and out as well. Other than that.
Ceramic coatings, you do ceramic coatings?
Yep, so like polishing, ceramic coating, paint correction, interior detailing, exterior obviously, and then in and bay, trailers, campers, RVs.
Okay.
Most of those are kind of like at the homes as well, being that they won't
So
fit
you
in the
go
shop.
to the homes, you don't go to the shop?
I do like cars and trucks
Yeah.
out of the shop, and
Sure.
then most of the bigger stuff, yeah, mobile.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Will you pull them right in? Is there room to pull the vehicles in
Yeah.
and work on them inside?
Most of them, unless they're a tall van with a ladder rack on top, is about the only thing that didn't fit. So yeah.
So campers don't go inside?
No.
Okay.
So let's get ours detailed.
I spent 3 months this summer.
See, you could have had time to.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, that's good.
Okay. So,
So the one question I had wasn't really necessarily related to approval part. What is the height of the door for the lorry you have in your shop?
The sliding door,
The height of the door?
8'8", 8'8",
Oh, it's pretty small then. Okay.
or like I think it's 10 or 12 foot wide, 8 foot tall, 8'8" tall.
Okay.
Goes right past the actual ceiling height, just for the rail.
And you have enough parking for, let's see, it says driveway parking.
Yep.
How many vehicles can be parked on the driveway? Is there any?
I'd say at least 9, 10 if you were to
Oh, okay.
stack them all the way
So
up to
quite
the
a
road.
bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sits
I
way,
added a
way
little-
back.
That's what I thought,
Yeah,
yeah.
it sits way in the back.
Okay.
Is there a limit to how many he's allowed, or? Anybody know that?
I doubt I'd ever have 10, but that would
I
be-
don't really think that's more of a job issue. It's not like he's parking employees there.
Right.
He would be parking, there is a time limit. He can't leave them there for more than 24, 48 hours. I mean, you can't like leave them sitting there.
Can't be stored.
Nothing can be stored outside, correct. But, you know, I'm assuming his turnaround's pretty pretty quick. I don't imagine he keeps cars for weeks at a time.
If you did have, you mentioned in here that you plan to hire 1 or 2 employees over the winter. Great, I mean, that'd be great, you can do that. They just, the requirement is that you have 1 parking spot per employee.
Okay.
If, is there room for that
Yeah.
currently? So there'd be like 3 spots for the employees, that wouldn't impact your business parking.
Yeah, it'll all be on the sides that's still on the asphalt mounds, and then you'll still be able to have a straight shot in to the shop.
Okay, it says you currently use the transfer site on Armada Ridge?
Yep.
That's good. The shipping and receiving sounds okay, it's
Mhm.
quick in and out, I don't think, my only concern with this is, it has nothing to do with you at all, is that it's 1 industrial lot in the middle of a residential area, so
Yeah.
I would hope that you would be considerate in terms of noise and things like that.
Yeah.
There's after 9 o'clock is quiet hours.
Okay.
And you said you might have some weekend time, so we just kind of keep that in mind, that you're in, even though you're perfectly fine where you are, you're in the middle of a residential area.
Yeah.
My other, well, I was looking at the signs and the advertising, and the 18 by 24 yard sign on the north or south side of the driveway, that's considered a temporary sign by the village.
Okay.
It's just one of those stake signs,
Yeah.
right? And those are available to put in your yard for 45 days a year.
Okay.
So you'd be good, like if, this year, but
Mhm.
once January, if you put them out in January, you know, you'd burn out by the middle of February,
Okay.
and then you can't put it out anymore.
Okay.
So you might want to consider a different kind of sign, or,
He's got one going on the front door of the building also, right?
yeah, you wanted one out at the street just to
Right.
self-direct.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't want to like overdo it, just because then I didn't want the neighbors looking at a big old sign on the door.
Right.
That's why I was trying to keep it smaller at the road. But if like I did something more stationary that same size, would it be allowed to be like say at the road? I just didn't want it. I kind of wanted it removable because it was right by the fire hydrant too, so I didn't want it to be.
Right.
But you would have to clear the fire hydrant. You have to, and I'd have to check with the fire marshal to see the clearance around it.
Okay.
But you'd have to come and pull a building permit from the office. You
Okay.
would be allowed to put a stationary sign. It just, your size would depend on how far back you're gonna put it, or how far back you put it, it's gonna depend on how big you can have it, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then whether or not you need to light it, if it's far back, and, you know, there's other considerations if you choose to go that way
Okay.
at a different time. I thought the sizes of the signs were well within the requirements. I didn't see any issue with that. It seems like it's a good fit with the lot, other than that you're in smack dab in the middle of a residential area.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else?
That was pretty much my point. What you had brought up.
In the residential area?
Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, there's 1 industrial lot there. I am to remind you that the fire marshal will have to do an inspection.
Okay.
I'll let him know once you're approved, and then I'll give him your contact information and he'll contact you directly.
And what are they inspecting? Just so I.
Just any safety issues, so that anything wouldn't be,
Like
and he's a
fire
super nice
extinguisher.
guy. If there is something that doesn't quite jive, he's gonna tell you, hey, this is what you need.
Okay.
And he'll give you time to do it. It's not like he's gonna cite you right there in the spot. He
Okay.
expects you to know. He's very good about it.
Good, okay. Anything else?
So remember like, what was it, glass blower with how many people he could have in the building? Is this an issue with the size of this building? or-
No, because their issue is they were considered a home occupation. He's not.
This is industrial.
He's not.
Will there still be a limit on something like that? I didn't even think about
No,
amount of people.
no. As long as you have the space, you're fine.
Okay. Not that I'm.
I mean, you can't hire 40 people because you don't have room for 40 people to park, but,
Okay.
you know, that kind of thing.
If you have
Unless
a
you
party
wanna
and
run
invite
four
all
down
of
the
us,
street.
it'll be fine.
Okay.
I thought you did a really nice job with your
Yeah,
drawings
that's
here.
good, yeah.
I appreciate
It was
it.
very clear and nicely done, thank you for that. Okay.
We need a motion?
Yep. I don't have any more questions. Does anybody else have any questions?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right, I'll make the motion that we accept the sketch plan as presented at 73350 Floral Street, Tom's Auto Detail LLC.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
You're in, Tom.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You need your signs.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah,
Come on up, we gotta sign a few things.
My wife will be probably bringing our car one day.
yeah, and when can I need my car cleaned out.
Just let me know.
So, what's first, Bev?
You sign, approved, and today is 11/20/23, so you sign.
Do you have any
that.
business cards on you?
Yeah. And
I'd like one.
Can I see your pen?
Not a very good one.
That's okay, if you sign right there for me. Again,
Oop, it's approved.
You're signing your life away, Tom.
And yes. Well, all the
No,
best
son
to
of
you.
a
I hope you do great business.
I appreciate it.
this is just your copy, you can sign that just so it's signed, but then that's yours, so you have. All right, you're all set, you don't
Great.
have to stick around. if you
Yeah,
don't.
feel
Okay.
free to
Thank
leave.
you.
You're good to go.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next thing on the agenda is zoning ordinance review. We have back from the planner to look at 10, 12, 15, 17, 19, and 20.
We have it back from the panel?
Yeah, we have all those back from the planner to go through to see if he's done what we've asked him to do. Thank you. Right?
What was that?
I was not given any revisions by them.
I forwarded them to you.
It was a while ago,
The
October.
end of October.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like more recent.
No,
No, and then in when I sent the agendas and stuff, I said, if you need me to print them or resend them, let me know.
All right. I thought it was like more recent.
okay, so you're ready?
I gotta pull them up. It's in a different folder.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Just a couple extra. Thank you.
Oh, this one. Thank you. Good
You guys have
luck.
a good one.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you, thank you.
You want one?
Thank you.
Nice guy.
Very nice guy.
So for number 10, check it, 10, I have in my notes that we had for 10.03C, which is on page 10-2, that we had made a question whether or not these publications that we're citing were current, up to date, still valid, any of that, and I don't see that they have responded to
I
that.
don't know that I answered that one, asked him that one, so I'll ask him that one.
Okay. You know, or maybe there's a better place to refer them to than, maybe there's just a website, and that way we don't have to keep changing the names of the documents, or something.
Mhm.
Does anybody have anything in 10? That's all I had in 10. Okay, so 12 did not have changes marked. I didn't see that they changed anything.
Do we have any, I'm just looking at this facade ornament design.
Any-
It's making me think of one of the buildings in town that needs some attention for sure. Do we, what's our authority on that?
You tell the code enforcer and he will talk to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, once things are decided by us, we don't really have any jurisdiction, I don't believe, to go back and say, hey, you didn't do it.
Right.
It goes to the building
Correct.
inspector or the code enforcer.
Okay.
Unless they don't do any of their site plan stuff within that year, then they'd have to come back.
Okay.
I have nothing marked in 12 for
Okay.
any made any changes.
Right, I don't, so 12 is easy.
Okay.
15, I didn't see anything here either. I know when we talked about it, because it was the technical, sort of above our pay grade, we kind of felt that we were leaving it up to the planner
To
to,
make sure that it complied with all legal aspects of what we can and can't do anyways.
right, so I don't see any, that he changed anything on here.
I don't either, so that means ours is still compliant.
All right, well, for 17, there were just a couple of things.
No, in the first sentence, he did
Yeah.
not change what we asked to change.
Right, that was all I got too.
Yeah.
We asked him to, instead of special approval uses, serve an area, comma, interest or purpose that extends beyond the borders of the village. We asked him to say, serve an interest or purpose that has impact beyond, and that's not reflected yet, so he still needs to do that.
1701.
Yes,
the very
first sentence, yep. So, 19, I have a lot of scribbling on here, but I don't think we actually changed.
19 and 20 was ones that we were moving up to, remember, that was the meeting they came to,
Okay,
and they got kind of technical on the plan developments and stuff, and we did
Yes.
a lot of talking.
yes,
And they made notes, I didn't make as many notes. I was actually gonna listen to the meeting to make sure those changes got in there. Cause he said it was more of, a lot of wording, things could be worded a little differently. So,
all right, so should we bring this back up to him? I only see one thing on the second line.
anything on the second line.
1902, 6, right?
1901, second line under purpose. They just inserted as amended. Michigan Common Law 559 dot whatever.
Okay.
I'll ask him.
That was,
I honestly didn't read 19.
well, my notes say the state act has requirements, so that just refers them back to that,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, my notes say it's a state mandated. Sounds like there's not a whole lot we can do.
So it's we're on the same page. 1901, they're making a change to what precisely? Or what was not made?
On the second line, you see the little, he added after the second paren, as amended, referencing the Public Act 59 of 1978. Okay, 20.
I didn't even look at that one because that was also one of theirs.
Yeah, well, this one, I know we wanted to get rid of that one. Right, we didn't like the density bone, we didn't like the way that was worded. But so I think that they could go back, because it reads, Determination of maximum permitted density. The maximum permitted density shall be determined by one of the two following procedures at the option of the applicant, and we deleted one of the procedures. So
Correct.
the intro line is not correct. It needs to adjust to the content.
Yep.
Is that what our intention was?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on page 20-5, C 1-2, if you printed it in color, it's the red amount.
I did read it.
You're talking about character and arrangement, see?
Amount and quality of open space.
Okay.
How did he rephrase it? Because that's my notes, say we were just gonna rephrase that.
Because I don't know that it, an appropriate equipment shall be provided within the dedicated equal to a size, in size to a minimum of 1,500.
1,500 square foot, yeah.
Or the amount equaling the total lot area saved for the developer. It doesn't necessarily make it any clearer to me.
I will ask him.
Okay. And down on 4, farther down on the page there, through an irrevocable conveyance, dedication, or easement acceptable to the village. We wanted to add that, but he spelled easement wrong.
See, I'm only you would catch that.
And I think that's all I have.
My computer would not let me print 20.
Well, I can't open it all of a sudden.
I could open it, I couldn't print.
Does anybody have anything else?
Not on those. Not on those.
None of those. So we still have coming back from him 18, 22. Yeah.
24 and 25, 23, oh, 23, 24 and 25.
24, 25. And then we're done?
25 is definitions.
Oh. There was a, isn't there one before that? What's
No.
none?
26, then 26. Yeah.
Okay, so there's still a few to go.
Yeah.
All right.
There are a few things though, Mike brought up 9, let's see, which, in parking, 9.06 I.
Article 9?
Yep.
06I.
Section 906?
Okay.
So, when we went through this, we didn't really discuss a whole lot of it. It says not more than one, I don't know, the part I'm talking about is, no parking shall be permitted on lawns or other unpaved areas of a residential lot. So, code enforcer, sent out a bunch of letters for people that had been parking on their grass.
Right.
Because it does not specify, it just says on an unpaved, so it doesn't matter if it's grass in your backyard, on your side yard. So he sent out a lot of letters. Council's asking us to revisit the ordinance. At the time, and just never discussed it any farther, one suggestion was can't be parked in a front yard. Or we just take it out of there, we don't say anything. You know, we just completely delete it and they can park where they want to park. It's kind of up to you guys to decide what we want to send to council, but just know that council has the ability to change that. So you need to, what you guys think is fair or right to put in, and we'll put it in and it'll go to the changes with council.
I think,
Currently, no letters are going out for cars parked on
Right.
grass.
you rescinded that. I think aesthetically, for the village, it's not a good idea to park cars in the front lawns.
I agree with that.
You know, I mean, I just don't see it.
Okay, on the front
There's
lawns
a-
or on grass in general? Oh, she's got a comment there.
I'm a letter bearer,
Joe?
and I agree with Mike. I think it's tacky when you see cars all over in the front yard. So if you constitute what is exactly the front yard, I mean, because you can say anything from the middle of your lawn to the front of the street is your front yard, or if you want to say to the face of the house, so that it's just not in front of houses and stuff, and let them park in the backyard. I think that's more
What about
aesthetically
corner
pleasing.
lots? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I know, that's a good
I
question.
don't see it being
Because a corner
enforceable.
lot is two
Two
front
front
yards.
Why not? Why wouldn't it be enforceable if we passed?
Go out there in August and you tell me how many people you're gonna have
Fair.
Well, we
with
could,
pitchforks and torches.
we could put an addendum that, during the
December.
1 week of the fair, yeah.
December, you're gonna have the same thing. Anytime you have a large number of people in town, you're gonna have people parking on the front lawns. And
Okay,
you're gonna have to
so
make special carve-outs for each of those occasions
what,
because you
what
don't
in
make up the
December?
kernels.
Yeah, what's the-
Cotton.
You got holidays.
Okay, so we're not looking for the isolated incident. Somebody
The
has a
exceptions.
graduation party, somebody has a wedding shower.
Well, this
So
is a
it
little
has a
bigger
holiday.
than, and they would do it, this is, holidays is the whole
It's a
village
day,
township.
but it's a day. It's a day.
Yeah,
Right,
give them
how about-
We're not
24
looking
hours.
for, we're not looking for, and I'll tell you right now, the code enforcer doesn't, he drove through, saw somebody having a graduation party. He let it go.
Yeah.
The cars were gone the next day. If he drives through and he sees a car there once that he's never seen, even in the yard before, he'll let it go a day and he comes back. If it's still there, okay, if it starts getting grass up by the tires, it's there too long. So they're not, the fair would be the biggest exception that you'd have to make to that.
Right.
We're not looking for an isolated one-day event.
Right.
We're looking for a permanent place where or every day somebody drives by and
Like an
sees.
individual car there more than 3 days or whatever day.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Right.
put any set days on there, but if you're consistently parking there, and to be perfectly honest, I had letters that went out and somebody called and said, I had company over the weekend, I never moved my car. And he went back and the car's gone. You call and explain and that's okay. The purpose is so that it doesn't look tacky, so that somebody isn't using that as a additional parking instead of making a bigger driveway, or because they're collecting cars because they just want to pick whatever car they're going to drive, that whatever their reason would be. It's an ongoing issue. It's not a one and done thing. It would be an ongoing issue.
So we could add a compromise that would say something like, in the front yard, if we defined what that is. No parking in the front yard.
Well, you have a definition of the front yard. The front yard is defined in your definitions.
All right,
Not here, it's defined in your definitions.
let's look it up and see.
So we could put an addendum in then saying fair week, would be the only week allowed.
Council on its own could say, we're just gonna look the other way. I gotta see where that's at, Sam, it's in here somewhere, because that's how I can tell you that a front,
Because I see people complain they were picking and choosing.
Right.
We don't wanna do that.
Yeah, we had.
okay, it's on
we had-
page 2534, under yard.
Thank you.
And frontage is on 2516.
Yard, open space, full of the lot. The depth of which is the minimum horizontal distance between the front lot line or street and the nearest point of the primary building. Okay, so that's anything in the front up to the building.
Correct. The corner lot has 2 front yards.
So then, that's a problem.
Well, I'm not saying it is a problem, I'm just saying it's just something you need to
Address.
address.
Right.
You know, I think to say not in the front yard is a perfect solution a perfect halfway,
Resolution.
meet somebody halfway, but
Right.
my concern is the corner lots, because corner lots have 2 front yards. So if you, are you going to say except on a corner lot, you know, I don't know, you're gonna let it on the side, or you're not gonna let them on the side, because it's kind of the same thing, it would be in the front of somebody else's house. I don't know, I'm just,
Well, if you had a garage and it's in the back, say your frontage is at the front and you're on a corner, so now you've got 2 fronts. You've only got 25% of your lot that's your backyard. So if your house is built up here and your garage is in the back corner, you've lost your 25% even, because there's nowhere to park because it's filled with a garage.
but in theory, though, you would be paved up to your garage, and you can park in your front yard if it's an improved paved surface. We're
Not
just saying,
everybody's driveways are paved, they're gravel.
an improved surface, the gravel would be an
Leave it at
improved surface.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still saying, but that would be, you know, in that instance, in theory, you would think that there is an exception just down the road here, but in theory, that would be they'd have an improved surface all the way to their garage. You know, and you can park in your front yard if it's an improved surface. I mean, if somebody wants to make their driveway 4 cars wide, there's
Well, there's a limit.
20 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still saying, so even if they only have 1-car garage, but do you want to allow them to park on improved in the front yard at all? Or improved in the front yard is okay, but they can't park on the grass in a front yard in a residential lot? What are you gonna do on corner lots? I'm just being the devil's advocate, because I know the phone calls I'm gonna get.
Right, well, we don't want them to park in the front, that's the consensus I was hearing. We don't want them to park in the front
Front
grass,
grass,
no front grass.
okay?
And are you putting a time limit to this, or,
What do you mean a
Ever.
time limit?
well, you were mentioning if they're doing a one-off,
No, that's kind of a code enforcement, and that's just kind of an interpretation thing, you know?
Okay.
It kind of like we do now. I mean, we're
He
not,
knows the community, he knows.
he does,
Yeah.
and truly, the process for code enforcement is, you know, he drives around, he gives me all these things, he sends them to me, I send a letter, they're given 10 days. Well, if the car's gone in 10 days, it's gone. If it's a one thing, it's kind of a whole waste of time anyways. So you gotta allow your code enforcer to kind of use his judgment, and he kind of pays attention. I mean, he probably
Yeah,
knows
he's
his,
pretty up on it.
because I'm trying to cut down the back and forth between here, council, back to council, here, council,
Well,
rather than
truly-
just do it one and done.
and it will be a one, pretty much. They could come back and say, no, we're gonna just delete that, and then we'd be done. So
Right.
Fair enough.
We don't, yeah,
truly, you can only take to council what you're suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
And if they wanna change it, they're gonna change it, and that's what's gonna go. That's what's
Understood.
gonna fly. So, if you kind of think you can come up with what you guys think is acceptable,
And then present it to council.
and then it will be presented to council with all the amendments.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking on the corner lot, could you like word it in a way that's, the front pertaining to the side of the house or the front door? That way, someone who's got a corner lot, their other,
If you guys wanna
property,
make
would
an
it-
exception for a corner lot, I mean,
We'll just
or
pave
we
your
could
whole front.
say corner lot, we're only talking about the front of the house corner lot, we could say that also for,
the side of the yard that coincides with their address or
Yeah.
something.
Be specific.
so that it excludes the 2 front lots on a corner doesn't apply then, because we specifically said the side of your house with that addresses, something like that.
I'll have the planner see if he can phrase something.
Yeah, we need to,
Right, that's what you had in mind?
yeah,
That's-
yeah, something like that.
So,
The
yeah,
address seems to correlate it pretty well.
because that's the front then, and so even though it's technically 2 front yards, it's really the backyard. They're using it as a backyard.
so
I
you're
know.
gonna present it to the,
To the planner, I'll
Planners.
see how he can phrase it,
okay,
yeah.
and then bring it back to,
So, yeah, I'll have it back for you guys.
okay.
The other issue, and it's not anything anybody was really aware of, we have a, part of our ordinance states that, in a, accessory apartments are allowed in C2. C2, that's downtown, C1. Downtown, accessory apartments are allowed, but accessory apartments cannot occupy more than C1, 50% of the usable floor area. So we do have a building in town that's 3 stories tall. And they were looking to add apartments to another floor. So back and forth between the attorney, their attorney, village president, and the planner, we're trying to come up with a solution because this particular person also uses her basement for meetings, but it's not considered usable floor space because our ordinance also says that it's gotta be more than 50% above the grade in order to count as usable floor space. So, one such thing that the planner came up with was, I can make copies of all this for you guys, but it's accessory apartments shall be subject to the following standards. Accessory apartments shall not occupy a usable floor area greater than 50% of the usable floor area of permitted principal uses in the same building, shall not be permitted on ground floors or below ground floors, and each accessory apartment shall have separate kitchen, bath, and toilet facilities and a private entrance. Accessory apartments shall be contained entirely within the primary building. So what the concern was that if we took out that 50% limit, that any building downtown could completely convert into apartments. So they could sell it, and even the business,
Sure.
the business could leave if we took out the 50%. The planner says, because of the phrasing, of the usable floor area of permitted principal uses in the building, would allow the exception to this particular building because she uses the basement for business purposes. And the part about it cannot be on the how do I say it, the main floor or the lower level,
Right.
accessory, so that would prevent anybody from doing apartments that way.
We do have them that way.
But they're not, right, and nobody else could change them.
You mean they're grandfathered in?
Right, what apartment do you have on the ground floor?
No, they're using basement level as for the business.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not, it's that you couldn't use the base, you couldn't convert the basement to apartments, to an accessory apartment,
Okay.
to change it. So that would, the hopes is to prevent the downtown from becoming nothing but living spaces instead of a downtown. And not that anybody says that's gonna happen.
But you open in the
But we
Pandora's box.
Correct. You open the door and then you can't stop somebody. So that's the planner's suggestion, and the attorney likes the
Morning.
meeting halfway. We're not giving in to her, but if she turns her basement into storage, then she'd lose that 50%.
Okay.
But she doesn't. She uses it for meetings and things like that. So I just threw that one at you. I know it's new. I'm going to tell you it's 6.201.
What about the elevator? Does the elevator go all the way to the basement?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes. So I'm gonna make copies of all this. I'm gonna make copies of this. I'm gonna give it to you guys to review think about it, okay? Because I've actually been contacted by the attorney to see how far along we are in the process, and they didn't want to have special meetings and pay for special things, so this part could just get done by itself. So they know it's getting done with, any change
Just part of
would be done with our whole amendments.
Amendments.
So I wanted to give you the backdrop as to what this is about and why.
Okay.
She is unique, because she is the only, it is the only 3-story building
What about windows? She doesn't have any windows down there, does she?
in the basement.
Basement, no.
I don't think so.
Well, she's not using, the basement has nothing to do with the apartments.
But still, to make it usable space,
It's classified usable space because she has meetings down there. It doesn't have to have windows for usable
doesn't have to
space.
have
No.
windows. So if a fire broke out on the actual first
The
floor,
fire,
and the electric goes out, and
the fire marshal approved
You're
it.
taking stairs.
The fire marshal approved it.
Hmm.
Because I do have that. So that's just something you guys need to think about and decide. Look at the phrasing, read it over, mull it over, think how it works for you, doesn't work for you. Is there something you'd like different? Or if you can think of a better solution. The only other solution that was talked about was lessening the 50%. Where it says cannot occupy more than 50%, if you lessen that percentage, but you still run into that problem unless you specifically state no ground floors, blah, 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 blah.
Ground floor, lower, and
Right,
then
so-
percentage.
Right.
Does percentage make a difference if you, once you say ground level and lower? I mean, if they have 5 stories, it would be all right if there are 4 stories of nice three-room apartments?
Well, I can't say. That would be something, would you guys want a building that's 5 stories tall to have 4 floors of apartments? That's kinda, I don't know. I don't know aesthetically that fits with your downtown.
The only
You
thing
did
is
in Rochester.
parking. We don't have parking
Yeah,
for
no,
all
well, I
this.
see, that's the other whole issue. with this
Rochester's
thing
a
is-
weird town.
So,
I'm just saying that they do that.
Oh, I know, I drive by the
And
buildings.
things
My
like
son-
that,
my
think
son
of
built
and,
one
you know,
once.
make notes and bring back after you've had time to review this part of the ordinance.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Very productive meeting.
I guess, I also got another
So
question.
those are the reports, Becky?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, well, the other thing, we just want to tell them that we fixed that all up and made the new ones, and that's what we'll be using.
Oh, the documents that we were talking about, for the site plan applications and the.
Oh, yeah,
That we redid.
You
right.
redid them, right?
Yeah, Becky had a couple of additional things to clarify, so I've done that and I've submitted it to her, so she's gonna start using them.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be an improvement for people going forward.
Oh, you said you had a question?
Well, I was just curious, then we have buildings that are 5 stories. I mean, isn't there something already in there limiting how tall a building can be anyways?
I don't recall seeing that.
No?
Sorry.
I was kind of curious.
And the limitation on how tall buildings can be now, currently?
I don't think so.
If somebody wanted to build a 5-story.
Because when you talk about parking, they could always build underground parking structure. That's what they did in Rochester.
Yes, actually, there is. Building height, C1, 40 feet, C2, 35, industrial, 40. Maximum stories in C1 is 3.
3 stories is our max.
Yep.
So that would kind of limit things there.
Currently. Correct.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
anybody else, anything? Yeah, then we need a motion.
Oh, it does say stories, okay, my bad.
We're good?
Found it.
Becky, you can give me one.
Because you're going to come back. He's got a point at his next meeting.
You said what?
A point at the next meeting.
Oh,
Are you coming back?
I imagine.
All right.
Well, I won't be here for 3 months, you know that.
Yeah, I do.
I'll be there after that.
So you'll be here for December,
Yeah,
and then January,
February, March, I'll be gone.
yeah. All right, a motion to adjourn?
So the motion to adjourn,
7:43.
7:43 on November 20th, 2023.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.